TMNT time! Hello, welcome to another figure review. Today we're gonna have a look at the Super7 TMNT Ultimates Rocksteady figure. The Haunt Menace of the Foot Clan, and this is like the, just to get like this box. This brown, boring box. That logo in the front, with like some guns on the side, I think, over there. And the TMNT logo in the back, and all of this slides out to reveal yet another layer of packaging. The triple layer of packaging. It's the triple whammy, it's Rocksteady. You got some bio in the back, you also have like a little bit of a bluish purple wall with the foot logo on there, and some electrical thing. And then in the front, you got the man himself, the boy with a big knife and some guns, and you know, it's a pretty nice display. Always like the throwback to the box style. It has the wall that goes around it, kind of throws you back to the old school toy, which is what this line is all about. Throwback to the toy with some major updates, so let's have a look at it. You still haven't subscribed yet? You haven't liked the video? You just gotta walk in here, you watch the video and you just leave? You don't even say anything? That's rude, come on. You can do better, I believe in you. This has been a long time coming, but by the looks of it, Super7 is gonna roll out the next Ultimate line very soon. So, this guy stands at about 20.5 centimeters to the top of his goggles on his helmet, which means 8.1 inch tall. Size comparisons. Here's Jalter, the original Playmates Rocksteady action figure, Mattel Stone Cold Steve Austin, NECA Raphael, Super7 Leonardo, and Darkseid. Oh boy, this beast is just another very impressive piece for your collection. I can tell you that right now, right away, because I'm getting vibes from the Bebop figure, which was one of the favorites from the last line, just because he was so huge, big, bulky, but also beautiful. You can look at this rhinoceros hat, it does look menacing. The sculpt on it is absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. And yes, the dry brushing, like the dark gray dry brushing, is the thing that elevates this so much more. I keep talking about it. You can have a wonderful mold, but if you don't paint it correctly, if you don't put in the extra effort, it doesn't measure up to it as much as it could. And this one does. He does have the shiny eyes, which they look menacing, but also kind of dead, but that was based on the figure. You also have some weathering in the helmet, and the goggles once more have a little bit more of a shiny varnish to it. You got the same treatment for the rest of the body on the muscle work. Tons and tons of detail, little nooks and crannies, and actually a little bit of an injury, like just stitched up over there. And you have the bullet wrist on one side, has like a little bit of a gunmetal on the bullets, I feel like. The watch on this side is not cleanly painted, but I feel like that's on purpose, that it's just like another weathering effect as the gold is a little bit rubbing off. And let me zoom out real quick. Well, and before I do that, I want to have a detailed look at his shirt with the texture in there, molded texture, very good looking, and the big back. But yeah, let me zoom out real quick to really let you take in all the massive goodness of this guy. Like, look at it, this is my hand, he's like almost as big as a hand. Then you have the belt, which is rubbery and does have some more weathering on it, especially on the pouches, and the turtle shells on the side. Some more in the back, and the only kind of issue I have with it is the weathering stops on the pants. As such, the pants still look good. It has the camo look it's supposed to have, but it does look very shiny and it does look very plasticky. And that's just sad, because the top part of the figure does not look plasticky at all. It looks great, awesome, amazing, but yeah, then you go down to that and it's alright, but some weathering on here would have just, you know, kept up with the rest of it. However, though, the paint is clean. You have all those bolts in the belt, and you also have some buttons for the pouches, for the pants, and a butt mold. You have a cut in the pants for some more articulation, which is appreciated, and it does look clean. You don't really see it at first, and we're going down to the boots, which have a lot more of a matte finish, so it's not as shiny as the rest of the pants, and that's all for your looks. Now, if you're familiar with Super7, you probably know that articulation is at the strongest point, but I'm here to show you what you're gonna get out of it. The hat does move back and forth, it does tilt side to side, and it does go all the way around. Obviously, it is blocked by everything going on over here, and you have to kind of accept it. You have a big hinge in the shoulder, nothing to really move it back and forth, no butterfly joints and whatnot. It's just a hinge. You can bring it up, and you can also rotate it around. Now, surprisingly and unfortunately, we do not have a bicep swivel. You could have cut this up, but they didn't do it. Then you have a big hinge in the shoulder. You can bring that up and down and also rotate it around. For your hands, you got another hinge, goes up and down, rotation. And for the chest area, you just have a swivel. And it would break up the sculpt, but the rubbery belt hides it very well. But as such, we don't have anything else as much as forward or backward movement. For the entire torso area, the leg moves forward. The crotch piece is soft plastic. It does move out to the side, and it does move to the back a little bit, but it is pulled back by the butt. You can also rotate it on the ball joint that's in there, like the ball hinge, you connect it to it. And then you have the knee, which is another hinge, same as the elbow, goes up and down, and you can also rotate it in all directions. As mentioned, you have a swivel on the boot, and the boot itself, well, the foot has another hinge that goes back, forward, and also beautiful pivot. So stability shouldn't be much of an issue, especially also since the feet are fairly big. But yeah, gets the job done, but could be better at the price point. As for the accessories, we're going back to a general figure rule. If the figure's big, the accessories are usually minimal, and that is no exception here because, you know, you got your standard stuff. Also, it is based on the old school toy, and it does deliver everything the old school toy came with, so I'm not, you know, throwing any shade at them for it. Here you have the weapons rack with the gun, the shields, the grenades, and the knife on there for display, or you could take it apart, but why would you do that, you monster? Because you have another weapon set, same exact gun. Now this time it has a darker paint job on it. Very minimal, but a little bit shiny, and it does look cool. Now what they kind of forgot is the shield, because like, well, the shield, the manhole shield, it does look exactly the same. Like, did they forget to paint this one? A little bit of lettering would have really helped this. So it's just a piece of brown plastic. You got the knife, that one's cleanly painted. A little bit of a gunmetal on the blade, very shiny, and the handle in a matte tone. Then you have grenades. You actually have 3 of them, but I only have 1 in here because they look exactly the same. Very nicely painted for such a small accessory. You gotta give them huge props for it. And for your alternative hands, you only get some fist hands. You got like the open hand on the figure to hold all the accessories. Somewhat rubbery, but if you can't get the accessories in there, just heat it up. But I think it does slide in there fairly easily, and there you go. And before I get to the final thoughts, I would like to have another look at Rocksteady with his son, the original Playmates toy, because I just want to bring the fact home that yes, Super7 absolutely delivers on what they set out to do, and that is to recreate, update, and make the original mold just a tiny bit better. Well, like a lot better with like a lot more detail, obviously better articulation, but still keeping it faithful to the original. And as such, I am absolutely in love with the designs they're delivering, with the figures they're delivering, and I have no complaint with that. It does what it sets out to do, and it is chock full of nostalgia, and you surely get a kick out of it if you love the old Playmates toy. That is kind of like final thoughts already, but let me get to the actual final thoughts. Actually, final thoughts for this figure. I love it. I've been a huge fan of the Ultimate line because of what I've just said. It's chock full of nostalgia and really brings me back to the old times when I got the TMNT as a kid. Now as an adult, I still get TMNT. And it's great, it's amazing, it looks awesome, it comes with all the stuff it needs, it has a great height, and the only kind of disappointment, well, not really disappointment, but the only thing that's fairly light is still the articulation. But I mean, it depends on how you look at it. You might be saying, well, at least it articulates than the toy, it articulates better than the original toy, but at the price point, they could engineer it just a little bit better. But the figure itself is so nicely done that I'm not even mad about it. The red ring, the paint job, it's great. So if you're a fan of TMNT, and if you can, you know, if you can look over the a little bit higher price point than NECA, for example, because it's the complete, like, always debate of like which one's better. I don't think which one's better. This one's definitely different. It has its own place, and definitely its own place in my heart, in my collection. So, that's gonna do it, guys. I do recommend this one, and as usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like, and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever. Rocksteady runs.